The alarm woke Tina Miller at exactly 5 in the morning. She groaned and rolled over, pressing her face into her pillow. For a moment she considered ignoring it, but the blaring sound was too persistent. Reaching out blindly, she hit the button and sat up, running her fingers through her tangled brown hair. Today was the day she had been training for her entire career. The Starlight mission would launch in exactly 4 hours, and she was the lead xenobiologist. She would be responsible for documenting and studying any alien life forms they might encounter during their 5-year journey to Proxima Centauri. Tina showered quickly and put on her uniform. The dark blue fabric felt stiff and formal against her skin. She looked at herself in the mirror and barely recognized the woman staring back at her. Gone was the carefree girl who used to collect bugs in jars. Now she was Dr. Tina Miller, first human xenobiologist to travel beyond our solar system. Her apartment was small and sparse. She had given away most of her possessions, knowing she would not return for at least 10 years. The only personal items she kept were a photo of her parents and her lucky rock, a small piece of meteorite she had found as a child. It had sparked her interest in space and ultimately led her to where she was now. The ride to the launch site was quiet. The driver seemed to sense her nervousness and didn't attempt small talk. Tina watched the familiar landscape pass by, wondering if Earth would look the same. When she returned, the mission briefing had been clear they would experience time dilation due to their near light-speed travel. When they returned, most of the people she knew would be elderly or gone. At the launch facility, everyone was in motion. Engineers performed last-minute checks, security personnel verified credentials, medical staff conducted final examinations. Tina made her way through the organized chaos to the prep area, where the rest of the crew was gathering. Captain Laura Bennett was already there, reviewing data on her tablet. She looked up when Tina entered and nodded in greeting. Laura was a decorated pilot with over 20 years of experience. She had been selected to lead the mission not only for her skills but for her ability to remain calm under pressure. Next to arrive was Communications Officer Olivia Grant. She was the youngest member of the crew, barely 30, but her genius with languages both human and theoretical alien made her invaluable. Her specialty was creating communication protocols for potential first contact scenarios. Dr. May Wong, the ship's physician, entered next, followed by engineer Kelly Parker and navigation specialist Amy Winters. The 6 women formed the core team of the Starlight mission. The first all-female crew to attempt interstellar travel. It's time, Captain Bennett announced, closing her tablet. The final briefing begins in 10 minutes. Then we board. The briefing room was filled with officials from the space agency director. Paula Harris stood at the podium, her expression serious. Ladies, you are about to embark on the most significant journey in human history. The eyes of the world are upon you. But more importantly, the future of our species may depend on what you discover, she continued. You have been selected not only for your technical skills but for your psychological profiles. You 6 represent the best chance we have of successfully establishing first contact should you encounter intelligent life. Remember your training, remember your protocols, and remember you carry the hopes of humanity with you. Tina felt the weight of those words settle on her shoulders. She had spent years studying theoretical xenobiology, creating models of how alien life might evolve on different worlds. But all the theory in the world could not prepare her for what they might actually find. The walk to the launch pad seemed to take forever. The Starlight ship loomed above them, its sleek design unlike any spacecraft built before it. The experimental drive system would accelerate them to a significant fraction of light speed, allowing them to reach Proxima Centauri in 5 years, rather than the decades it would take with conventional technology. As they entered the ship, Tina ran her hand along the smooth wall. This would be her home, her laboratory, and possibly her tomb if anything went wrong. The thought should have terrified her, but instead she felt a strange calm. This was where she belonged. The launch sequence began exactly on schedule. The crew was strapped into their acceleration couches as the countdown echoed through the cabin. Tina closed her eyes, feeling the vibration build beneath her. 3, 2, 1, ignition. The force of acceleration pressed Tina back into her seat. The roar of the engines was deafening even through the ship's insulation. For several minutes they endured the crushing pressure until finally the engines cut back and the indicator lights changed from red to green. They had achieved orbit. The next phase was more technical. The ship would make one orbit around Earth to verify all systems. Then they would fire the main engine again, boosting them toward the outer solar system where the experimental drive would be engaged. Everything is nominal. Captain, Bennett reported, checking the readouts. Prepare for secondary burn in 45 minutes. Tina unstrapped herself and floated toward the observation window. Earth spread out beneath them, a swirl of blue and white against the blackness of space. She placed her palm against the transparent aluminum, trying to imprint this image in her memory. This might be the last time she saw her home planet with her own eyes. The secondary burn went as planned, pushing them away from Earth at increasing speed. They passed the moon in hours rather than days. The experimental drive hummed with energy waiting to be unleashed once they cleared the solar system. 2 weeks later, they reached the activation point. Captain Bennett gathered them in the control room. The moment had arrived. They would either make history or become a cautionary tale taught to future astronauts. Ladies, we've reached the point of no return. Engineer Parker has confirmed the drive is ready. Any last words before we make the jump? Tina looked at her crewmates, these women who had become her family during training. She saw her own mix of fear and excitement reflected in their eyes. For science, Tina said, raising an imaginary toast. For humanity, added Olivia. For the unknown, finished Captain Bennett with a rare smile. Then she turned to Kelly. For the record, Engineer Parker, activate the drive. Kelly pressed the sequence of commands. The ship shuddered as energy surged through its systems. The stars in the view screen blurred and stretched. The universe itself seemed to bend around them. Then everything changed. The ship stabilized in a way none of them had expected. The view screen showed stars, but they were different. Somehow, brighter, more defined. Tina felt a strange sensation in her body, as if every cell had been taken apart and reassembled. We did it, Captain Bennett whispered, checking the instruments. Were traveling at 0.75 light speed Proxima Centauri in 4 years, 8 months. The celebration was short. Lived. An alert sounded from the sensor array. Tina rushed to her station and checked the readings. What she saw made her breath catch. Captain, I think you should see this, she said, pulling up the data on the main screen. The image showed something impossible, a structure. Too large and too perfect to be natural. A space station or perhaps a satellite orbiting in the same path they were now following. We're not alone, Tina whispered. But the question is, are they waiting for us or hunting us? The 6 women stared at the screen as the alien structure grew larger in their view. None of them had expected first contact to happen so soon. They were still in our solar system, barely past the orbit of Neptune. Yet something or someone had been here all along, watching, waiting, perhaps even calling them forward. Captain Bennett recovered first. Olivia, prepare the first contact protocols. May bring the quarantine measures online. Kelly, reduce our speed. Tina, get me everything you can about that structure. Amy, plot me an escape route just in case. As the crew sprang into action, Tina could not tear her eyes away from the screen. Her entire life had been building to this moment, the first human to study alien life, and now here it was, not on some distant planet but practically in their backyard. The structure began to emit a signal. A pattern of pulses that repeated every 90 seconds. Olivia recorded it, running it through the communication protocols she had designed. It's definitely artificial, she confirmed, and I think it's a greeting. The crew gathered in the conference room to debate their next move. Captain Bennett sat at the head of the table, her expression grave. The decision before them was unprecedented. No protocol existed for this situation. I say we accept the invitation, Kelly said, breaking the silence. These aliens, the Astraxi, have technology centuries beyond ours. Think what we could learn. May shook her head. We need to be cautious. This could be a trap. We have only their word that they're peaceful. We should return to Earth and report what we've found, and tell them what Olivia countered. That we ran away from the greatest discovery in human history. Her eyes were bright with excitement. "They're offering us knowledge about the entire galaxy." Amy leaned forward. "Have a responsibility to our mission. To Earth, we can't just change course because some aliens invited us to a party." Tina had been quiet, listening to the arguments of her crewmates. Now she spoke. "This is exactly why we came into space, to discover new life, to learn about the universe. The Proxima mission was just a first step, but now we're being offered a giant leap, Captain." Bennett raised her hand, silencing the debate. "I understand all your concerns, and they're valid. This isn't a decision I can make alone. The implications are too great." She turned to Olivia. "Can we send a message back to Earth?" Olivia nodded. "The quantum communication system is still functional. We can send a message, but at this distance it'll take hours to get a response." "Send everything," Kelly urged. "All the data about the Astraxi, the scans of their structure, the recorded message. Let Earth decide." Captain Bennett nodded. "Olivia, prepare a complete data package for Earth Command. Include our sensor readings, probe data, and the communication logs." As Olivia worked on the transmission, the rest of the crew continued analyzing the information they had gathered. Tina focused on the biological scans of the Astraxi. She was fascinated by their physiology. The iridescent skin appeared to contain photosynthetic cells, suggesting they could derive energy directly from starlight. Their brain structure, based on the limited scans, was more complex than a human brain, with 3 distinct regions instead of 2. Amy studied the structure itself. The materials were unlike anything in their database, some kind of programmable matter that could change its properties based on electrical stimulation. The engineering principles involved were revolutionary. Kelly examined the crystal that had been left for them. The energy readings were stable, but the internal structure was impossibly complex, like a 3-dimensional fractal pattern that continued infinitely inward. The quantum communication system chimed, indicating an incoming transmission from Earth. The crew gathered around as Captain Bennett accepted the message. Director Harris appeared on screen, her face showing signs of strain. "Ladies, your report has caused quite a stir here. The existence of the Astraxi and their invitation has been classified at the highest level. The Security Council has been in emergency session since receiving your data." She paused, looking tired. "Your new orders are as follows. You are to recover the crystal artifact using all necessary quarantine protocols and return to Earth immediately. Do not proceed to the Astraxi outpost. Repeat, do not accept their invitation. Earth needs time to prepare for this level of contact." The transmission ended, leaving the crew in stunned silence. "Those are our orders," Captain Bennett said quietly. Amy set a return course to Earth. Kelly prepared the probe to retrieve the crystal. The mood on the ship was somber as they prepared to abandon their historic journey. Before it had really begun, Tina felt a profound disappointment. She had devoted her life to the study of alien biology, and now she was being ordered to turn back just as first contact had been made. The probe entered the Astraxi structure again, navigating to the central chamber. The crystal remained on its pedestal, seemingly waiting for them. The probe extended its collection arm, carefully securing the artifact and returning to the ship. The crystal was placed in a quarantine container and brought to the science lab for further study. Tina, Olivia, and Kelly gathered around it, watching as it sat inert within the transparent box. "I wonder if it knows we're planning to leave," Kelly said. As if in response to her words, the crystal began to glow. The same blue light as before pulsed from within its structure. The light expanded, filling the quarantine container, then projecting an image above it. The Astraxi appeared again. "You have made a decision," the alien said. "We sense your ship preparing for departure." Tina glanced at the others, in alarm. How could they know that our orders are to return to Earth? Captain Bennett explained, stepping forward. "Earth wishes to establish proper diplomatic protocols before proceeding further." The Astraxi tilted its head. The gesture seemed to convey disappointment. "We understand the caution of young species. It is natural to fear the unknown. However, we must inform you that our offer will not remain open indefinitely. What do you mean? Captain Bennett asked. The Astraxi gestured and the projection changed, showing Earth. The view zoomed in, revealing details that should have been impossible to see from this distance. We have observed your civilization carefully, Captain. We have seen your wars, your environmental destruction, your divisions. We have also seen your art, your compassion, your potential. The galactic community is divided on whether humanity is ready for inclusion. Some believe you require more time to mature. Others believe you will destroy yourselves before reaching the necessary evolutionary stage. The alien paused, letting the words sink in. We advocated for your species. We arranged this meeting against the advice of many. The crystal contains not only coordinates, but knowledge seeds of understanding that would help humanity advance. The decision to reject our invitation will be noted. Captain Bennett stood straighter. Are you threatening us? The Astraxi shook its head. No, merely stating facts. The universe operates on cycles of opportunity. Some doors once closed remain, so for millennia, choose wisely. Captain Bennett. The projection vanished. The crystal darkened once more. That sounded like a threat to me. Kelly said, or a warning. Tina countered. She looked at Captain Bennett. We can't ignore this. The fate of our entire species might hang in the balance. The captain paced the laboratory deep in thought. Finally, she stopped. Earth has given us direct orders, but they made those orders without full understanding of the situation. She turned to face her crew. We need to learn more before returning. I think we should examine the crystallizant. That dangerous? Olivia asked. May nodded. The quarantine protocols exist for a reason. We have no idea what that crystal might contain. Captain Bennett looked at the artifact. It's the only piece of alien technology we have. We need to understand it before we bring it back to Earth. Kelly, can you analyze it without removing it from quarantine? Kelly considered the problem. I can run non-destructive scans. The container has built-in sensors. We might get some useful data. Do it? Captain Bennett ordered. Kelly worked through the night running every scan and test she could devise without breaching the containment field. By morning she had results, though they raised more questions than answers. The crystal structure is changing, she reported. It's reorganizing itself at the molecular level, like it's evolving or adapting to what Tina asked. To us. Kelly replied. Our scans, our tests. It's responding to our technology. Is it dangerous? May asked, the concern evident in her voice. I don't think so, Kelly said. It's not doing anything harmful. It's just changing, like it's trying to become compatible with our systems. The implications were clear. The crystal was more than a simple data storage device. It was some kind of adaptive technology designed to interface with whatever systems it encountered. We need to make a decision, Captain Bennett said after reviewing Kelly's findings. Return to Earth as ordered. Or, she hesitated before continuing, or see what the crystal contains. The crew looked at each other, the tension in the room palpable. Earth seemed impossibly far away now. Their mission had changed in ways none of them could have anticipated. They had trained to find simple microbial life on a distant exoplanet. Instead, they were faced with an advanced alien civilization, offering them knowledge beyond human understanding. Tina spoke up. The Astraxi said, the crystal contains seeds of understanding. Knowledge that could help humanity advance. Shouldn't we at least try to access that knowledge before returning? The risk is too great, Amy argued. We have no idea what might happen if we try to interface with alien technology. It could contain anything from benign knowledge to a computer virus that could take over our ship. Olivia, who had been quiet during the debate, finally offered her opinion. What if we create an isolated system? Something not connected to the ship's main computers. A buffer where we could examine the crystal's contents safely. Kelly nodded thoughtfully. I could set up a standalone unit. We have spare hardware that I could configure for this purpose. It would be completely air-gapped from our primary systems. Captain Bennett considered the proposal. It would technically violate their orders. But as she looked at the crystal glowing softly in its containment field, she knew they couldn't return to Earth without at least trying to understand what they had been given. Do it, she said finally. Set up the isolated system. Kelly, Tina, and Olivia will assist you. The rest of us will maintain normal ship operations as Kelly began assembling the standalone system. Tina felt a mixture of excitement and apprehension. They were about to attempt communication with an alien, intelligence using technology they barely understood. The scientific breakthrough could be enormous, but so could the risks. Olivia worked frantically at her station, her fingers flying across the interface as she analyzed the signal coming from the alien structure. The pattern repeated itself exactly the same, each time mathematical and precise. "It's binary," she announced. Finally, a simple counting sequence followed by what appears to be coordinates. She looked up at Captain Bennett, her eyes wide. "They want us to meet them somewhere. The coordinates indicate a position on the far side of Neptune," Captain said Amy after checking the navigation system. "It's about 3 days from our current position at reduced speed, Captain." Bennett paced the deck considering their options. This went against all first contact protocols, which recommended observation from a safe distance before any attempt at communication, but the signal was clearly meant for them. The timing was too perfect. "Tina, what do your scans tell us about the structure?" Captain Bennett asked. Tina studied the data flowing across her screen. "It's approximately 2 kilometers in length, constructed of materials I can't identify. The design suggests it's a waypoint or beacon rather than a habitat. No detectable life signs, but there's an energy signature unlike anything in our database." She paused, looking up, detecting what might be a quantum entanglement communication array, which would explain how they knew we were coming. "Quantum entanglement," Kelly exclaimed. "That technology is theoretical for us, the ability to communicate instantaneously across any distance regardless of light speed limitations." She whistled softly. "Whoever built this is at least a century ahead of our technology. Maybe more." Captain Bennett made her decision. "We follow the coordinates, but we maintain defensive posture. May, prepare the quarantine bay in case we need to receive visitors. Olivia, continue analyzing that signal for any additional information. Kelly, I want constant monitoring of our systems in case they try to access them remotely." Tina felt her heart racing as she continued her analysis of the structure. She had imagined first contact happening on Proxima Centauri b, not in their own solar system. The implications were staggering. Alien intelligence had been observing humanity, perhaps for decades, without detection. As they approached Neptune, the gas giant loomed large in their view screen, its blue swirling atmosphere creating hypnotic patterns. Amy guided the ship with precision, following the coordinates provided in the alien message. The signal changed as they reached the specified location. Now it pulsed faster with more complex patterns. Olivia recorded everything, her expression intense as she tried to decode the new information. "Something is happening," Tina called out. "The structure is changing. Configuration." They watched as sections of the alien beacon folded and shifted, revealing what appeared to be a docking mechanism. It was extending toward them, matching their ship's dimensions perfectly. "They studied us," Kelly whispered. "They know exactly what our ship looks like down to the centimeter. More than that," Captain Bennett replied. "They know exactly who we are. The docking mechanism is oriented precisely for our airlock, which means they were expecting us." Tina finished. The implications sent a chill through the command deck. The aliens, whoever they were, had known about the Starlight mission, had anticipated their trajectory, and had positioned this waypoint specifically for them. Captain Bennett made another difficult decision. "We will dock, but we maintain quarantine protocols. No physical contact until we understand what we're dealing with. Kelly, prepare the remote probe. Olivia, have the universal translator ready. Tina, I want you to analyze everything that probe sends back." The docking procedure was flawless. The alien mechanism adjusted to their approach speed, guiding the Starlight ship into position with gentle precision. The airlock indicators showed a perfect seal probe, is ready for deployment. Kelly announced launch. Captain Bennett ordered. The remote probe, a small cylindrical device equipped with multiple sensors and cameras, detached from the ship and entered the alien structure through a small secondary airlock that had opened for it. The crew watched anxiously as the probe's feed appeared on their main screen. The interior was bathed in a soft blue light. The walls appeared to be made of a material that shifted and flowed, almost like liquid, yet maintained its structure. The probe advanced, sending back data that made Tina gasp. The atmosphere inside is identical to Earth standards, she reported. Oxygen, nitrogen, trace gases, all in the exact proportions we breathe. The temperature is precisely 22 degrees Celsius. Even the gravity has been adjusted to match Earth normal. They created an environment specifically for humans, May said. This is beyond coincidence. The probe continued, its exploration revealing a large circular chamber ahead. The walls were covered in what appeared to be writing symbols that shifted and changed as if alive. In the center of the chamber stood a pedestal, and on it rested a small crystalline object. The probe sent back detailed scans of the crystal. Tina analyzed the data with growing excitement. The molecular structure is unlike anything we've ever seen, she reported. It appears to be some kind of data storage device far more advanced than our quantum computers. Suddenly, the crystal began to glow. The light pulsed in rhythm with the original signal they'd received. It's activating, Olivia said. The pattern matches the communication sequence. The main screen flickered and then displayed an image that made them all fall silent. A humanoid figure stood before them, tall and elegant with iridescent blue skin that seemed to shimmer with its own inner light. Its eyes were entirely silver with no visible pupils. Its limbs were long and graceful, giving it an ethereal appearance. The alien raised a six-fingered hand in what appeared to be a greeting gesture. Then it spoke, its voice melodic and strangely familiar. Greetings, Starlight Crew. We are the Astraxi. We have been observing Earth for 1,000 of your years. We have watched your species evolve from primitive warfare to space exploration. You have progressed, more rapidly than any species we have encountered. The crew stared in stunned silence. This was actually happening. First contact. The dream of every space explorer since humans first looked up at the stars. The alien continued. We have chosen this moment to reveal ourselves because your Starlight mission represents a significant evolutionary step for your species. The willingness to journey beyond your solar system shows a maturity we have been waiting for. Captain Bennett found her voice. Who are you? What do you want with us? The Astraxi tilted its head in a curiously human gesture. We are travelers like yourselves. We explore the universe seeking knowledge and connection. We have established waypoints throughout this galaxy to welcome new, spacefaring species into the greater community. Tina could barely contain her scientific curiosity. How many other species are there? The alien seemed to smile, though its face was difficult to read by human standards. There are currently 57 sentient spacefaring species in this sector of the galaxy alone, each unique, each with their own perspective and knowledge to share. The universe is not empty. Captain Bennett. It is abundant with life and consciousness. The implications were overwhelming. Humanity was not alone. Not by a long shot. They were merely latecomers to a cosmic community that had existed for who knows how long. Captain Bennett remained cautious. Why contact us now? Why not wait until we reached Proxima Centauri? The Astraxi gestured and the image changed, showing a star system they all recognized from their mission briefings. Proxima Centauri and its planets. That system is already inhabited. The alien explained. The Proxima civilization is young like yourselves. They are not yet ready for first contact. Your arrival would have caused significant cultural trauma to both species. We could not allow that. Tina felt a mixture of disappointment and wonder. So there really is life on Proxima Centauri. Yes, the Astraxi confirmed. But that is not your destination any longer. We invite you to join us instead. We can show you wonders beyond your imagination. Knowledge that would take your species millennia to discover on your own. Captain. Bennett exchanged glances with her crew. The mission parameters had just changed dramatically. The decision they made now would alter the course of human history. What exactly are you proposing? Captain Bennett asked carefully. The crystal contains coordinates to our nearest outpost, the Astraxi explained. It is a journey of 3 of your months at your current speed. Their representatives of the galactic community await you. You will be the first humans to join the convergence. And if we decline, Tina asked, then you may continue. Your original mission, the alien replied, but you will do so without our guidance or protection. The universe contains wonders, Captain Bennett, but also dangers. Your species is not yet equipped to face. The transmission ended, leaving the crew in silence. The crystal on the pedestal stopped glowing. The probe continued to send back data showing that the chamber remained unchanged. Captain Bennett took a deep breath. Ladies, it appears we have a decision to make. Kelly worked methodically assembling the isolated system from spare parts. The makeshift laboratory had been set up in a small storage room away from critical ship systems. A single workstation with no external connections sat on a metal table, next to the quarantine container holding the crystal. This is as safe as I can make it, Kelly said, wiping her brow. The system has no wireless capabilities, no connection to the ship, and a completely separate power source. If anything goes wrong, we just pull the plug. Tina examined the setup. The screen was dark, waiting for input. The crystal pulsed occasionally with a soft blue light, as if aware of their intentions. Olivia joined them carrying several data tablets. We have no idea how to interface with alien technology, she said. But I have some ideas based on the signal patterns we received. Captain Bennett entered the room, May and Amy following close behind. Has there been any progress, she asked. Kelly gestured to the isolated system. Ready for our first attempt, Captain. Captain Bennett nodded. Proceed. Kelly carefully manipulated the quarantine containers, robotic arms positioning a scanner directly above the crystal. The scanner was connected to the isolated computer system by a single cable. As the scan began, the crystal pulsed more rapidly, its light growing brighter. The computer screen flickered to life. Lines of code appeared, scrolling faster than the human eye could follow. Symbols and diagrams flashed across the display, some recognizable, some completely alien. It's downloading something. Olivia said, her voice hushed with awe. Or uploading, Kelly countered. The process continued for several minutes. Then the screen stabilized, displaying a single symbol, the same one they had seen on the walls of the Astraxi chamber. What now? Tina asked. Olivia stepped forward. I think it's waiting for input. She hesitated, then typed a simple greeting on the keyboard. Hello, we are the crew of the Starlight. We wish to learn. The screen changed immediately. The symbol transformed, flowing like liquid into a new configuration. Then words appeared. English words. Greetings. Starlight crew. We have anticipated this moment. The women exchanged looks of amazement. How do you know our language? Olivia typed, we have studied all Earth languages. The crystal contains translation matrices for all human communication. The response appeared instantly. What is the purpose of this crystal? Captain Bennett dictated, and Olivia typed, the crystal is a seed. A beginning. It contains fundamental knowledge that your species has not yet discovered. It will accelerate your development by approximately 300 years. And what do you expect in return? Olivia typed at Captain Bennett's nod. Only observation. The right to study your species as you implement this knowledge. Your reactions, your choices, your adaptations. The crew exchanged uncertain glances. May leaned forward. This sounds like an experiment, she whispered. Are we lab rats to them? Olivia typed. The question. The response came quickly. All new species are observed as they join the galactic community. This is standard protocol. We observe. You learn together. We determine if greater integration is possible. This is mutually beneficial. Tina could barely contain her excitement. What kind of knowledge does the crystal contain? The answer appeared in the form of diagrams and formulas, mathematical equations relating to spacetime, biological schematics showing cellular structures unlike any on Earth, engineering principles for technologies humans had barely theorized. This is incredible, Kelly whispered, studying an equation. It looks like a unified field theory, something Einstein spent his life searching for. Tina was equally amazed by the biological information. They have mapped the neurological basis of consciousness, she said. Look at these neural patterns. Captain Bennett watched her crew carefully. Their excitement was understandable. This was the scientific discovery of a lifetime, but something felt wrong. The Astraxi were offering knowledge too freely, knowledge that could transform human civilization overnight. "Why are you giving us this?" she asked Olivia, typing her words. "What do you really want from humanity?" The screen remained blank for a moment longer than previous responses. Then new text appeared. Humanity stands at a crossroads. You have developed technology capable of interstellar travel, but your social and ethical development lags behind. Many species destroy themselves. At this stage, we wish to prevent this. The knowledge we offer includes not only scientific advancement but wisdom accumulated from thousands of civilizations, some of which no longer exist. Captain Bennett frowned. That doesn't answer my question. The response came swiftly. Every species that joins the galactic community brings unique perspectives. Captain Bennett, humans possess exceptional creativity, adaptability, and emotional intelligence qualities valued by the Convergence. We do not seek to control humanity. We seek to preserve and incorporate your unique qualities. Tina studied the screen thoughtfully. It sounds like they want to save us from ourselves, Olivia nodded. Or they see something in us that they value. Something worth preserving. Amy, who had been silent until now, spoke up. But can we trust them? What if this knowledge has hidden costs? What if it changes us in ways we don't anticipate? Kelly was already examining the scientific data displayed on the screen. This information is revolutionary, she said. It would transform every field of human knowledge, physics, medicine, energy production, space travel. The crystal appears to contain the collective scientific wisdom of multiple advanced civilizations. Captain Bennett made a decision. Olivia, ask if we can take a portion of this knowledge back to Earth. A sample that our scientists can verify. Olivia typed the request. The answer was immediate. The crystal cannot be divided. Its structure is holographic. Each part contains the whole. However, we understand your caution. The crystal will allow you to access only what you are prepared to understand. It will reveal knowledge gradually as your comprehension grows. May crossed her arms. That sounds convenient, she said, her voice heavy with skepticism. How do we know this isn't some kind of trap? A Trojan horse meant to infiltrate Earth technology. The screen displayed a new message as if the crystal had anticipated their concern. Fear is natural. Trust must be earned. The crystal contains no autonomous programming. It is a database, not an artificial intelligence. It cannot act, only respond. It cannot interface with your technology without your permission. It is a gift freely given. Your species may accept or reject it. The 6 women stood in silence, considering the implications. Accepting the crystal meant changing their mission parameters, ignoring Earth command, and potentially altering the course of human history. Rejecting it meant turning away from knowledge that could save their species from self-destruction. Tina broke the silence. What about the Astraxi outpost? The coordinates they offered us. Olivia typed the question. The outpost remains open to you. The crystal contains basic knowledge. The outpost offers experience, direct contact with representatives of the Convergence, the opportunity to join the galactic community as equals rather than as students. Captain. Bennett paced the small room, her mind racing with possibilities and dangers. Finally, she stopped. We need to vote. She said each of us must decide. This affects not only our mission but potentially all of humanity. The responsibility should be shared, one by one. The women cast their votes. Amy voted to return to Earth as ordered, to bring the crystal back for proper study under controlled conditions. May agreed with Amy, citing the unknown risks of alien technology. Kelly voted to continue to the Astraxi outpost, her scientific curiosity overriding her caution. Olivia also voted to proceed, believing the opportunity for cultural exchange was too valuable to ignore. Tina cast her vote to continue, The chance to study alien biology was the culmination of her life's work that left Captain Bennett with the deciding vote. She looked at the crystal, its blue light pulsing gently in the quarantine container, then at the screen filled with knowledge beyond human understanding, then at her crew. Their faces showed the weight of the moment. The understanding that whatever she decided would change everything. The Astraxi claimed to have been watching humanity for 1,000 years, Captain Bennett said. If they wanted to harm us, they could have done so long ago. She took a deep breath. We came into space to explore, to discover, to learn. If we turn back, now we betray the very purpose of our mission. She straightened her shoulders. The vote is 3-2. We proceed to the Astraxi outpost. The decision made, Captain Bennett issued new orders. Amy plotted a course using the coordinates from the crystal Kelly secured, the standalone system keeping it isolated from the ship's main computers. Olivia continued studying the language patterns of the Astraxi communications, searching for deeper understanding. May prepared medical protocols for potential alien contact, and Tina analyzed the biological data contained in the crystal, focusing on the evolutionary history of the 57 spacefaring species mentioned by the Astraxiaes. The Starlight ship changed course, leaving the familiar boundaries of their solar system. Tina stood alone in the observation bay. The stars looked different somehow, brighter, more alive, knowing that around some of them orbited worlds with intelligent life, civilizations that had already joined the mysterious convergence that awaited them. She thought about Earth. The planet seemed small now. Not just in physical distance, but in perspective. Humanity had believed itself alone in the universe, had built philosophies and religions around that assumption. How would those beliefs change when they learned the truth? The universe was teeming with intelligence, with consciousness, with life. 3 months passed quickly as the Starlight ship journeyed toward the Astraxi outpost. The crew settled into new routines, studying the knowledge contained in the crystal. Each woman focused on her specialty, finding answers to questions humans had been asking for centuries. Tina was fascinated by the biological data. The crystal contained detailed information about evolution on thousands of worlds, the patterns of life, the chemical foundations, the development of intelligence. It showed that while the specific forms varied widely, the underlying principles were surprisingly consistent. Life found a way regardless of conditions. Kelly immersed herself in the engineering schematics, learning about energy systems that defied conventional physics, propulsion technologies that could bend space-time, materials that responded to thought-clean power generation that could eliminate pollution, and strangest of all, biological technology that merged the organic and inorganic in ways humans had never imagined. Olivia studied the languages and cultures of the 57 spacefaring species. The diversity was breathtaking. Some communicated through color or scent or electromagnetic fields. Some lived for thousands of years, while others measured their lives in days. Some had evolved natural spaceflight capabilities, while others, like humans, had built machines to carry them to the stars. May focused on xenomedicine, learning about biologies so different from humans that they challenged her understanding of life itself. Some species breathed methane, others silicon dioxide. Some had distributed consciousness with no central brain. Some could regenerate entire bodies from small fragments. And all of them had found ways to coexist in the galactic community. Amy studied the navigation data, mapping the locations of known civilizations, habitable worlds, and the vast network of outposts and waypoints that connected them. The galaxy revealed itself as a complex web of life and intelligence interconnected by the mysterious convergence. Captain Bennett absorbed everything, learning all she could about the political structures and protocols of interspecies diplomacy. She knew that when they reached the outpost, she would be humanity's first ambassador to the galactic community. The responsibility weighed heavily upon her as they approached the coordinates specified by the crystal. Tension and excitement built. The crew prepared for their second first contact experience, reviewing everything they had learned, hoping it would be enough. Sensor contact, Captain Amy announced from the navigation station. Detecting a large structure at the designated coordinates, on screen, Captain Bennett ordered, The main view screen activated, showing something that defied easy description. The Astraxi outpost was enormous, a sprawling complex of interconnected structures that seemed to float in space without visible support. Some sections were clearly mechanical, while others appeared. Almost organic parts of it glowed with internal light, while others reflected the distant starlight in shimmering patterns. The station is approximately 800 kilometers in diameter. Kelly reported, checking her instruments. The outer sections are rotating, creating artificial gravity. The inner core appears stationary. Multiple docking ports are visible, designed for different vessel configurations. As they watched, a ship emerged from one of the ports. It was unlike anything they had seen before. Its hull shimmered with colors that shifted and flowed like oil on water. Its shape seemed to change subtly as it moved, defying human perceptions of solid matter were being scanned. Captain Kelly said, "Passive scans only. Nothing invasive. Incoming transmission," Olivia announced. The main screen changed, showing a familiar figure. The Astraxi they had communicated with before. Its iridescent blue skin shimmered in the light, its silver eyes regarding them with what seemed like pleasure starlight. "Crew, welcome to Outpost Harmony." The alien's melodic voice filled the command deck. "We are pleased you accepted our invitation. Your journey marks a historic moment for your species, Captain." Bennett stepped forward. "Thank you for your welcome. We come in peace, representing humanity and Earth." The Astraxi made a graceful gesture with its six-fingered hand. "Your decision to continue to our outpost despite your initial orders shows courage. Captain Bennett, a quality valued by the Convergence Captain." Bennett tensed. "How did you know about our orders?" The alien tilted its head in that now familiar gesture. "The crystal contains a quantum link. It has been monitoring your progress and your interactions. Our interest is scientific, not invasive. We wished to understand how you would respond to the knowledge offered." May stepped forward. "That sounds like spying." The Astraxi seemed untroubled by the accusation. "Observation is central to understanding. The crystal transmitted no private conversations, only your interactions with the knowledge it contains. We needed to determine if humanity was ready for the next step." "And what is the next step?" Tina asked, unable to contain her curiosity. The Astraxi gestured again. The screen split, showing the outpost on one side and the alien on the other, joining the convergence. Many species participate as observers before becoming full members. We invite you to dock at the outpost to meet representatives of other civilizations to exchange knowledge and perspectives. To begin the process of integration, Captain Bennett remained cautious. "We would like to accept your invitation, but we need assurances of our safety and freedom. Our mission is to learn and observe, not to make binding commitments on behalf of our entire species." The Astraxi nodded. "You speak wisely, Captain Bennett. We offer these assurances. Your ship will remain under your control at all times. You may depart whenever you wish. No technology will be implemented without your consent. No binding agreements will be requested. You are guests, not petitioners." Captain Bennett looked at her crew. Each woman nodded their agreement. This was why they had come after all. To make contact, to learn. "We accept your invitation," Captain Bennett said. The docking procedure was remarkably simple. The Starlight ship was guided to a port that adjusted its configuration to match their airlock perfectly. A soft chime indicated a successful connection. The air pressure equalized, and the external sensors confirmed that the atmosphere beyond was compatible with human physiology. Captain Bennett assembled her crew at the airlock. Each woman wore her formal uniform, with the Starlight mission patch prominently displayed. They had debated whether to carry weapons, and decided against it. This was a diplomatic mission, not a military one. "Are we ready?" Captain Bennett asked. The women nodded, their expressions a mixture of excitement and apprehension. They had trained for years to explore Proxima Centauri b. Instead, they were about to become the first humans to set foot on an alien space station, to meet not one but potentially dozens of alien species. The airlock cycled open, revealing a corridor beyond. The walls were that same shifting material they had seen, In the first Astraxi structure, the floor solid and stable beneath their feet, the lighting adjusted automatically to a comfortable level for human eyes. The Astraxi waited for them just beyond the airlock. Standing nearly 7 feet tall, its presence was even more impressive in person. Next to it stood 2 other beings, each completely different from the other. One was shorter than a human with 4 arms and golden-scaled skin. Its head housed 3 large eyes spaced evenly around a central axis. It wore what appeared to be a crystalline device around its neck that pulsed with internal light. The other being was massive, nearly 9 feet tall, with a broad body covered in short, silvery fur. 6 limbs emerged from its torso, the upper pair clearly. Arms, the middle pair something between arms and legs, and the lower pair definitely legs. Its face featured a short trunk surrounded by 4 smaller appendages and eyes that seemed too intelligent, too aware. Captain Bennett stepped forward, her heart racing. This was the moment everything in her life had led to first contact, not with 1 alien species but with 3. "I am Captain Laura Bennett of the Earthship Starlight," she said. "We come in peace and friendship." The Astraxi made a graceful gesture. "Welcome to Harmony, Captain Bennett. These are representatives of the Convergence Council, Xorex of the Lintari, gesturing to the 3-eyed being, and Morath of the Vex gesturing to the large furred creature. Both have traveled significant distances to meet the first humans to reach this outpost." The golden-skinned Xorex stepped forward, its movement fluid and precise. The crystal device around its neck glowed, and a voice emerged, not from the alien, but from the device itself. "It is an honor to witness a first contact event. Such moments are rare and precious. I have studied your species with great interest, your art particularly. Your music is unique among known civilizations." The large furred Morath moved closer as well, its trunk-like appendage twisted slightly as if tasting the air. The crystalline translator activated again, producing a deep resonant voice. "Humans are younger than many convergent species, yet you have developed rapidly. Your adaptive thinking and emotional range are notable qualities. We welcome your perspective." Tina could barely contain herself. These were alien beings, truly alien. Not the humanoid aliens of science fiction, but creatures that had evolved on distant worlds under different suns with different chemical and biological imperatives. Yet here they stood, communicating, exchanging ideas. The Astraxi gestured toward a large doorway. Beyond lies the Harmony Exchange, the central hub of this outpost, where representatives of various species gather to share knowledge and culture. "We have prepared a welcome ceremony if you would follow us."